Alright, this is a true story. Middle school, Miss Luton's. There was 5 class clowns. I was the 5th one. I was the least funny. Just ask Kathy Richardson. She'll tell you. Kathy. Kathy R. Well, she's married now. She's a different last name. It's all good. I was making too many jokes. Way too many jokes. And for some reason, we decided to start sharing near-death experiences, and things got really serious. But I kept saying jokes, and she decided to kick me out and send me to the office. I've never been kicked out before, but it was just too much. So she kicks me out, and when she starts writing up the slip, sorry, I start feeling the fire, and I was like, oh crap, I'm gonna get kicked out. And I'm freaking out. And I thought of something. I have a near-death experience. So as she's writing it, almost as a last-ditch effort, definitely as a last-ditch effort, I start to share it. I start to share my near-death experience, and it was I was being serious, and but I just, for whatever reason, I was scared to go to the office, and I didn't want to go to the office. I didn't want to get kicked out, but it all came in at once, and I start rolling out, and my experience was very intense. I went to the Mexico, and I think God might have been mad at me. Maybe had some karmic debt or whatever, but I turned my back on the ocean. My dad always said, never turn your back on the ocean. And I was swept under, and I was so scared. And at the bottom of the ocean, I said, God, I'm scared. That's all I said. My dad felt a sense of peace. He thought I was dead, but he didn't really care because he thought I went straight to heaven and stuff. So he didn't think it was that big of a deal. But that only lasted about 20 to 30 seconds, and then he was like, "Whoa!" He stepped out of it. But he was like, "Oh, it's kind of like when my dad flushes a spider down the drain. He thinks to himself, oh, he probably made it out alive, even though, I don't know, it's kind of a weird thought, but he's very optimistic. But so I shared that story, and Kirsten Luton's is her name, my teacher. She's writing, and she stops writing, and she says, she says, she just comes up, and she was listening to my story, and everyone in the class was pretty stunned, but then one of the class clowns, I don't know, probably the third funniest, he's like, wait, so you're just gonna let him stay now? You're not gonna finish it up? And she goes, no, I think he's good now. I think he's good, And he's just like, what the heck? What? And she goes, no, he's good, And I was like, whoa. And I kind of almost went back to normal a little bit when I shared my story. I was still not all the way back, but like I was still, it was whatever. And she calls on someone else, and somebody tells the story, and then she calls on this other girl, this woman. Well, it's middle school, right? So she's a girl. Girl, woman, same thing. She's like, she tells this story about her friend gets hit by a car. She's like, yeah, she got hit by a car. And right away I said, was it a parked car? And the teacher looks at me and she lights up with laughter in her face. And she goes to start busting up, and then she cuts it off, and she realizes that, and then she goes, oh, you're out of here. Like that. And the whole class was stunned, because they all thought it was funny, but, like, you can't. I was like, how, though? How? And then I got away with, it's like I got away with murder, and then I just couldn't help but, it was funny. So I said it, and she writes it up, and she gives it to me, and I went to the... Anyway. It was a story. It was 7 minutes. I was a story. But I don't regret it, because it was really funny, and I don't regret that, but I do regret a lot of other stuff. It's just, I can't hold in that joke. No one's holding in that joke. It was funny. It was too good, man. Anyways.